Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of my favorite, and honestly, one of the most underrated subplots in Family Guy history. The time Chris Griffin, of all people, became a video game developer. Yeah, you heard that right. The lovable, slightly dim-witted son of Peter and Lois Griffin actually created and launched his own video game. It's a storyline that's not just hilarious, but also surprisingly insightful about creativity, family dynamics, and the gaming industry itself. So, let's set the scene. This all goes down in the Season 16 episode titled The D in Apartment 23. The main plot involves Brian moving out. But the B plot is where our story lives. It starts, as many Griffin adventures do, with a simple, almost mundane problem. Chris needs money. 3. But instead of getting a typical teenage job like bagging groceries or flipping burgers, he decides to channel his energy into something far more ambitious. He's going to make a video game. Now, you might be thinking, Chris, the kid who's afraid of the evil monkey in his closet, making a video game? And that's exactly what makes it so brilliant. The initial reaction from the family is, of course, dismissive. P2, in his infinite wisdom, basically laughs it off. This is classic Family Guy setting up low expectations for a character, which makes their eventual success or spectacular failure all the more entertaining. Chris, however, is undeterred. He locks himself in his room, surrounded by coding books and fueled by determination, and gets to work. His game is called Chris's Adventure. Simple, direct, and honestly, pretty on brand for him. The game itself is a reflection of his own life and worldview. The player character is just Chris, navigating a world filled with bizarre enemies and obstacles that are straight out of his daily anxieties. Think about it. The main villain is the evil monkey. Other enemies include school bullies and various figures of authority he finds intimidating. It's a perfect example of the classic advice, write what you know. Chris didn't try to create a sprawling fantasy epic or a complex sci-fi shooter. He made a game about his own experiences, and that's where its charm comes from. The visuals are crude, pixelated, and look like something from the early days of home computing, which adds to the comedy. It's not a polished AAA title. It's a passion project from a kid in his bedroom, and the gameplay is just as straightforward. You walk, you jump, and you avoid the things that scare you. In a way, it's a surprisingly deep metaphor for adolescence, isn't it? Just trying to navigate the world and avoid the things that cause you anxiety. The real turning point comes when Chris actually finishes the game, and, against all odds, it becomes a massive success. People love it. They find its simplicity and honesty refreshing. Suddenly, Chris isn't just the awkward Griffin kid anymore. He's a successful indie game developer. The money starts pouring in, and with it, a newfound confidence. He starts dressing better, acting more self-assured, and for the first time, he's the one in the family with all the success. This is where the family dynamic really gets interesting. Peter, who initially mocked the idea, is now completely starstruck by his son's success and, more importantly, his son's money. He goes from being a dismissive father to a fawning, opportunistic manager. He rebrands the game, adding his own Peter touch to it, which, as you can imagine, is completely over top and misses the entire point of what made the game special in the first place. He tries to commercialize it, sell out, and squeeze every last penny from his son's creation. This creates a classic conflict. Chris the artist wants to maintain the integrity of his work. He created Chris's Adventure as a personal expression. Peter, the would-be businessman, sees it only as a cash cow. He doesn't understand the art. He only understands the profit. He pressures Chris to make sequels, add microtransactions, and basically turn his heartfelt project into a soulless corporate product. It's a fantastic parody of the worst tendencies of the modern video game industry, all filtered through the chaotic lens of the Griffin family. The pressure becomes too much for Chris. The joy he found in creating something personal is completely suffocated by his father's greed and the demands of his newfound fame. He's no longer an artist. He's a content machine, expected to pump out sequels for a market that his dad is trying to exploit. The fun is gone. And in a moment of clarity, or perhaps just teenage angst, Chris decides he's had enough. The climax of this storyline is both funny and a little sad. Chris, fed up with Peter's interference and the loss of his passion, makes a bold decision. He deliberately sabotages his own franchise. He releases a sequel so bad, so unplayable, that it completely destroys his reputation and the game's popularity overnight. It's his way of taking back control. By destroying his creation, he frees himself from the expectations and greed that came with it. He chooses his own peace of mind over fame and fortune. In the end, everything returns to the Griffin family status quo. Chris is back to being just Chris. The money is gone, and Peter is back to being, well, Peter. But it's a great little arc. It shows a different side of Chris, proving he has depth, creativity, and a surprising amount of integrity. He follows a passion, achieves a level of success none of his family members ever have, and then willingly gives it all up to stay true to himself. It's a story that says a lot about the creative process, how something born from passion can be corrupted by commerce. Now, true success isn't always about money or fame, but about the joy of creation itself. For a show that's often known for its cutaway gags and shocking humor, this B-plot offered a genuinely compelling narrative with a beginning, a middle, and a definitive, meaningful end for its character. It's a small, self-contained story that elevates Chris beyond a one-note character and gives him a moment to truly shine. So, what do you guys think? Do you remember this episode? What are some of your other favorite character-focused subplots from the show? Let me know down in the comments. It's always fun to look back at these moments that add so much texture to our favorite animated families. Thanks so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Quahog's finest game developer, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. It really helps the channel out, and I love having you all here. Until next time, take care and keep watching.